My biggest concern was, one, I didn't like how it looked like so. That's gonna limit the size capacity inside. And I was like, do I need it? Hi everyone, and welcome back, or welcome if you are new around here. My name is May, and today I have a first impressions on my little cutie, my blueberry, my garden party from Hermes in the newest size, the size 23. I knew that I wanted to do a dedicated kind of video to share with you my first impressions of the piece. Spoiler alert, I love her. She's the cutest, the perfect little size, but I will get into all of those details. I will be sharing mod shots, what fits inside, and kind of just my first impressions from what I've noticed of the bag, the design itself, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's jump right in. As I said, this is the Hermes Mini Garden Party. It is the size 23. So that means that it measures 23 centimeters in the bottom. As we all know, the Birkin 25, just for size comparisons really quick, this one measures 25 centimeters in the bottom. However, I feel like it looks larger just because the wings do kind of pop out.
Let me see if I can bring those a little bit in so we can have a better comparison to look at.
So here we go. This is what the handbags kind of look like side by side. Do keep in mind that I have my mini garden party cinched in, but you could undo those buttons on the side and you can just carry her as sort of like an open tote. And then this is what they would look like side by side. So I feel that even though on paper the size is very minimal, when you do look at each piece side by side, the garden party looks a lot smaller than the Birkin 25. So with that being said, let's address the size for a minute, and that is the cinching kind of mechanism that it does have. When I first tried on the bag open, my biggest concern was, one, I didn't like how it looked like so, and two, how good were these clasps going to be in order to stay closed the times that I wanted to wear it like that. Now, good thing is that I have feedback, and it's good feedback. So as you can see, since I got the bag, the first thing that I did was actually cinch in those sides, just because I knew that that was the way that I wanted to wear it. I will point out that when I tried, you know, bringing in the kind of like sides in order to cinch it in with that clasp, I did feel like the leather was a little bit sturdy, and that caused even more kind of like worry in my mind as to how well they were actually gonna stay shut. I'm here to tell you that it worked out perfectly. So it is going to be a little bit harder at the beginning, but now as you can see, the handbag has kind of molded to pretty much be on that cinched style. If not, when you first get the handbag, the sides are pretty like flared out. Like it pretty much just comes like this, and it kind of looks awkward in my opinion. And also you can see like the buttons also, so that was something that I personally just didn't like. So again, I knew that I wanted it to cinch in and I wanted it to use it like that. So the first thing that I did do was actually go ahead and close it and cinch in those buttons. And I did the same thing on the other side, and I've honestly haven't undone them up until right now that I'm actually showing you those details of the bag. So let me scooch up so you can see her a little bit better. I just kind of love the cinch style overall of the garden party. I love the garden party in general. I just felt like the size 30 was a little bit too large for my personal life. And this size came out. And I was like, do I need it? And I did need it. And I was so grateful that I was able to get it on that trip. But anyways, I shared the whole story on that video, so I don't want to get too into it in this one. So I have personally just really enjoyed using it like so. I also want to share that the buttons are extremely tough in the sense that they will stay put. They are not going anywhere. You can go in, open up the bag. Well, I mean, I did that intentional. Great. Here I am saying that they're not going anywhere, and then it opens up. But you guys know what I mean. Like, you can go ahead and stretch out the bag. Like, look, I'm holding it like this, and it's not like it's an easy open, if that makes sense. Now, keep in mind, if you are using things that are a little bit wider, if you do choose to cinch in the bag, that's going to limit the size capacity inside. So with that being said, basically the widest parts that I have are either this part in the back and then this part in the front, because you could see that by cinching in the sides, it causes less space right here in the center. That if I do have the buttons undone, that's totally not going to be the case, and you just have basically a very big open space where you can play around with the space of the handbag so much more. That doesn't bother me because the pieces that I'm carrying fit perfectly within those spaces, but I do want to point that out because you are kind of limiting your capacity by cinching in the sides, if that makes sense. Now you also have the closure of the bag, which is another kind of button right here. And then you can go ahead and close it as well in order to give yourself some security. To be completely honest with you, you guys know I love wearing my bags open, and that could be a con for many people. That's just the way that I like to wear my bags. So I haven't closed it at all, but here is what she would look like if you go ahead and close her up. I'm sure that she'll also kind of mold to being closed. So even when you have her undone, she won't have such a big open space like she does right now, since I haven't used her closed, honestly. Now, with all of the things that I do have inside, you could see that she was able to close perfectly fine. But keep in mind that, you know, you more or less have up to here to fill up with things in order for her to close shut like so. Before we dive in and I share with you kind of like a little tour of the interior, I did want to point out that this bag doesn't have any sort of metal feet at the bottom. It just kind of has that running leather piece, which is a beautiful detail of the handbag. I feel like it adds a really nice touch to the look of the bag, but that continues all the way to the bottom, and that's pretty much what you would consider your feet on this handbag. The Blue Hydra color does come in the monochromatic stitching, so the stitching matches the color of the handbag, which is something that I kind of didn't notice when she showed me, but then as I've seen more and more pictures of the mini garden party pop up, I do realize that some colors have that contrast stitching, and I honestly love the contrast stitching, but it's not a make it or break it for me when I am choosing a handbag. So I think that with the blue, I really love kind of like the whole monochromatic moment, because it allows me to play with other things, as I did here on this one by adding, you know, a fun twilly. So I opted to add two completely different styles of twillies, but kept it within sort of like that navy family in order to tone down a little bit the brightness of this particular piece. So let's dive inside, and in the interior, it is a fabric lining, so it's not leather. You do have a fabric lining throughout the whole handbag, and it is a light color, which I am so thankful for. And then the bottom of the handbag, let me go ahead and remove my things really quick in order to share with you guys. So the bottom of the handbag is completely leather, and I really appreciate that because I feel like that's definitely going to make the bag be a lot sturdier and keep its shape. And then, as I was also sharing, you do have a zipper pocket in the back. This one is pretty small. What do I have in here? Oh, I have a return receipt. So in here, you could probably fit like a small card holder, maybe some lip products, maybe your card keys or something like that. Definitely a phone will not fit in there, and honestly I probably will never use it, but it is nice to know that you do have a zippered compartment in case you want to put something a little bit more sensitive in there. Okay, so I put my things back inside and I closed her up as I said that I would normally use her, and I just wanted to share with you everything that I am currently carrying inside of her. It was the bag that I recently used, so I have not switched out of the things that I placed inside and added or taken away anything. So first off, let's start with my phone. I do have an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and as you can see, that slides in there even though she is cinched in perfectly fine. That's usually how I have it. I put it towards one side just for easier access. And next up, I have my wallet. I am using my little card holder. This one I did get at the School of Leather in Florence. I shared it with you guys in a vlog and I love it. It's very kind of like easy and compact, but it's so cute. You do have this little horse bit detail here and it opens like so, and then you just have your cards, and surprisingly I have a $20 bill. Then next up in that sort of like front compartment, let's call it, I do have my sunglasses. I've mentioned it before, but I really like keeping my sunglasses in like a soft pouch like this because it's very small. So it allows me to move them from one bag to the other without having to change out the case. These are a go-to lately. They are from Amazon. I just feel like they're so chic, so sleek. They're very lightweight as well. Then next up, I have my lip product, which I am loving. You guys know I am loving these lip shines from Hermes. It's currently the one that I'm wearing. I did put it over top a lip liner that I got when I bought this one, but this is part of like their regular line, so it's not the limited edition color, and it is in the color Rose Hacienda, so it is just a really pretty pink. As I said, it's the one that I'm wearing. I just have my lips lined underneath with a Hermes lip pencil, and they're so hydrating, and I just really like the color payoff. And I feel like for summer I kind of want a glossy lip rather than a matte lip, and I just grab and reapply whenever I need to. Okay, continuing with what else is inside, I have my hand sanitizer. This was actually a gift from my sister-in-law from a little box that she put together in order to ask to be part of her bridal party, and it's so cute. I have it here. As you can see, I've been using it and I won't be repurchasing it because that is the most expensive hand sanitizer ever. Then we have a purse hook. This one is from the brand Carrier, and it's really sturdy. It's a very, very nice purse hook. It is a little bit pricier than your typical Amazon options, but if you just want to invest in a sturdy, like well-made purse hook, I really, really recommend it. I really try to be good and always have this one inside of my handbag just so that I have the option to put it on the table and hang my purse from it. Last but not least, and on the other kind of like compartment, I do have actually two more things. One of them is my mini pochette, and as I said, when I have the bag cinched in, she's really easy to just slide her in onto one of those pockets because you kind of build them as you cinch in the bag, and also very easy to bring back out. So inside my mini pochette, I just have some little essentials. I have a cuticle clipper, I have a cuticle balm, I also have a small little pill box, crap ton of hair ties, some bandages, panty liners, a super cute tiny hand cream, and then also a nail file, and that pretty much does it for what I'm carrying in the mini pochette. I do believe that the toiletry 15 will give that a shot, will definitely fit in here without any problem. And then last but not least, what I'm carrying in here is just a small packet of wipes. Carries all of the essentials that I need. For the most part, I would also carry my little case for my Invisalign, and she'll fit in there perfectly fine. So let me go ahead and try the toiletry 15 just to see how it would fit. So here it is. I don't have anything inside currently, but it's just so you guys have an idea as to how it would fit in here. I don't think it's gonna slide into like those pockets as easily as the mini pochette, just because it is a little bit wider in the bottom, but I think that you can maybe play around with it. Let's see. Yeah, so you can put it in sideways. So just go ahead and put it in diagonally and then adjust it once you have it inside of the bag, and it fits in there perfectly fine. And now I have all the things back in there. So capacity wise, I am really surprised for a mini bag how much she can fit. Like, I honestly don't need to see myself downsizing anything in order to fit the things in here. I actually think that she's a lot more comfortable to carry my necessities than my Kelly 25 because of the width on the side. So as you can see, the garden party has a little bit more width, so I think that the things just lay in there a lot nicer. Also, it is more of like an open compartment rather than the Kelly, which has that sort of like cinching that it does. So basically you have up to here in order to fit your things comfortable. If not, then they will start budging against the leather. And I personally just don't like how it looks when you have like certain pieces just kind of making an imprint on the leather. So for that reason, I do feel like the garden party in the mini size is very, very comfortable to fit all of your things. Another thing that I did want to point out was the top handle. I love the top handle drop of this particular bag. It is something that a lot of people kind of go back and forth on the Birkin 25. And again, a quick little comparison, just since we have them so close, you can definitely see the difference as to the top handle drop. Like if I'm putting on my Birkin 25, I have to shimmy my hand in there. It's not uncomfortable, but you do have to maneuver your hand a little bit. While on the Mini Garden Party, she just goes into the crook of your arm so smoothly and so effortlessly. She also, like, look, even when I'm bringing out the Birkin, I kind of have to maneuver it. It's definitely not the case for the Mini Garden Party. It's just so easy to really just throw on the crook of your arm and then remove it from the crook of your arm like so. I also really like that you have the ability to kind of open up the bag like this and then just look through your things and remove and take out whatever it is that you need. Let me quickly share with you guys some mod shots. I think she is such a cute little mini bag, and I feel like she would suit so many different body types, so many different body shapes. Honestly, I think she's such a fun accessory, and no matter what your size is, what your height is, I really feel like any of us can pull off this cutie. Here's a little size comparison from the Birkin and then the Garden Party in the mini size. And last but not least, here is a size comparison with the Kelly 25. Overall, I'm obsessed. I love it. I've been sharing with you guys every time you leave me comments how much I really love this piece. The color is also something that at first kind of scared me, but as I've been planning my outfits around this piece, I am absolutely so in love with. It is like the perfect sort of pop of neutral that I didn't know I was missing in my handbag collection. This leather is also new to me, but it feels extremely sturdy, extremely durable. It does have a little bit of a larger grain than your typical Togo, but I really like it. I feel like it's the perfect leather for this piece in particular. So I hope that I was able to address all of your questions. I hope that you enjoy the eye candy, kind of seeing what fits inside, and the mod shots. If you do have any additional questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, and of course I'll answer them the best that I can. Let me know if you've been able to get your hands on the new Mini Garden Party, or if it is a piece that you are currently eyeing. As always, I appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch today, and I hope to catch you all in my next one. Bye everyone.